Welcome to the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast. I'm your host, Forrest Kelly. From the seed to the glass, wine has a past. Our aim at the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast is to look for adventure at wineries around the globe. After all, great minds think alike. Let's start the adventure. Our featured winery is... In this episode, we head to the state that ranks number 1 in rice and poultry production. My wife's favorite author, John Grisham, is from the state. The state's musical instrument is the fiddle.
You gotta have a fiddle in the band.
What was that?
You gotta have a fiddle in the band.
Thank you, Alabama. No, we're not talking about Alabama. We're talking about the only state that produces diamonds, Arkansas. Home to Post Winery.
Post Winery is the largest winery in this region. It is in the top 60 as far as size goes in the United States. We produce about 268,000 gallons of wine and juice every year. My name is Tina Post, and I'm one of the 5th generation family members working here at Post. We wear several hats. Some of mine are managing the retail and gift shop, the Trellis Room, which is our farm-to-table food program. I do HR, events, and things like cultivating our garden and herb beds for our restaurant. We're located in northwest Arkansas, really at the base of the Boston Mountains.
Altus, Arkansas is the site, and because of where it's located, it offers some unique growing capabilities.
We actually have a recognized viticultural area. It's called Altus, the Altus Viticultural Area, and we grow 5 different species of grapes, which is very unique in, I think, America to grow those commercially. We're kind of where the north meets the south and the east meets the west botanically. We have the Vitis vinifera, like your Chardonnay and Zinfandel. We have Vitis labrusca, like the Niagara, Delaware. Concord, of course, falls into that category. French hybrids, like Saval, Vidal, Vignoles. Vitis estivalis, which is the Cynthiana grape. It's also known as Norton if you go into Missouri, and they'll call it Norton. And Vitis rotundifolia, which are the muscadines. This is as far north as it grows commercially, Altus, Arkansas.
So out of those 5 varieties that you mentioned, do you have a favorite?
Yes, the muscadine, it's a flagship grape for us. It's a thick-skinned grape that hangs in clusters as opposed to bunches. And it is indigenous to North America, and it only grows below the Mason-Dixon line. It's a grape that was written about, it goes back into 1580s when it was written about by the early colonists, talking about the wonderful aroma. And the mother vine is in North Carolina, and it's a scuppernong, which is a white variety of the muscadine. A lot of times people use scuppernong synonymously with muscadine because it's the most popular or well-known variety. It is a variety, and there are white and red varieties of the muscadine, and the red varieties, they range in color from fuchsia to black, and the white are like from chartreuse to deep bronze. Very nostalgic in the South, and people remember picking it when they were young behind their grandparents' barns, and they literally make jams and jelly, and still a lot of homemade wine made with muscadines.
What else does the Post Family Vineyards offer? We will touch on that in episode 2. As now, it is time for our listener voicemail question.
Hi, this is Christina from Hemet, California. I was wondering about a wine that I've had at a restaurant. How do I get it?
That sounds like a simple question, but don't be shy. Go ahead and ask the restaurants. They will not get offended if you ask them where they get the wine. They won't add an extra charge on your bill. And you can also check out the App Store for the app Vivino. Vivino.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
I love your show and I like your style.
Thank you for your question, Christina. If you'd like to submit a question, we'd love to hear from you. Go to thebestwinepodcast.com. Thebestwinepodcast.com. Thank you for listening. I'm Forrest Kelly. This episode of the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast was produced by IHYSM. If you like the show, please tell your friends and pets and subscribe. Until next time, pour the wine and ponder your next adventure.
This is Doug Vincent with the podcast Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories. In 1956, I contracted polio. Thanks to my loving parents, I've lived a full, rich life over the past 67 years. Join me as I share my journey and uncover inspiring stories of resilience. This podcast is a platform for survivors of disability and those who champion services for the disabled community. Tune in on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. Let's walk and roll together on this incredible journey of strength and empowerment.